Bongiwe Ngubeni went missing on the 1st of December 2015. It's been almost 5 years that she was last seen, and there haven't been any new leads or information in her case. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Glen. So today I'll be covering the disappearance of Bongiwe Ngubeni. But before I get into that, I would like to give out my usual disclaimer. I mean no disrespect to the people I'm going to be talking about. This is just information I found online and compiled into a video for educational purposes and for people to be aware of these cases. I don't want to lie to you guys, but it was pretty hard finding information for this case. The most recent update about this case was from 3 years ago, and it wasn't even like about a new lead or like new evidence on this case. It was just an update, a sort of reminder that Bongiwe is still missing. Bongiwe was the last born of 2 girls. She lived with her mother Ngubeni and her older sister in Protea, Glen, extension 26 in Soweto, Johannesburg. At the time she went missing, she was a 9-year-old grade 9 learner at Harmony Primary School. Bongiwe is described as having the most beautiful smile. She is said to be a very quiet child, but she was still very kind and very loving. She loved her mother, she loved her family and her older sister, and the feeling was mutual with all of them. Tuesday, the 1st of December 2015 was like any other day for the family. It was a beautiful Tuesday afternoon and Bongiwe was at home with her mother. At 2 p.m. that day, Mbali had asked Bongiwe to go buy bread from a local spaza shop. Now, this was not something new, nor was it the first time that Bongiwe was going to go to the shop alone. So Mbali had trusted and was pretty confident with the fact that Bongiwe would be able to go to the shop and come back safely. 5 minutes went by, 15 minutes went to 20, and Bongiwe was still not back. Her mother found it very weird that she was not back because the spaza shop wasn't that far from her home and she had never taken that long to go to the spaza shop. After realizing that Bongiwe was gone for way too long, she asked one of her neighbors to accompany her to go look for Bongiwe because she had initially thought that Bongiwe made a detour to one of her friends, or she was probably just being a kid and playing on the street. They had searched for about an hour or so and had asked all of Bongiwe's friends if they had seen her, and unfortunately they didn't. They then realized that something was definitely wrong, so Mbali went to the nearest police station and a missing person file was opened. What was so unfortunate about this case was the fact that there was no evidence. It literally seemed like Bongiwe had just disappeared into thin air. With all the trauma and shock from the situation, Mbali put all her faith and hope in the police to find her daughter. The police began their search for her the very same day. They searched around the community and a few surrounding areas. They used sniffer dogs, even a helicopter was used to look for her aerially. But nothing came from all of those efforts. Life had drastically changed for Bongiwe's mother and her older sister since the fateful Tuesday afternoon. Her sister, who is now 19, has taken her younger sister's disappearance the hardest. She was 14 at the time that Bongiwe had disappeared. Leading up to the 3 years that Bongiwe went missing, her sister didn't want to go anywhere besides school because she was scared of suffering the same fate as her little sister. She would lock herself inside the house and not want to go anywhere without her mother's supervision,
leaving her mother distraught and seeking closure. To Bongiwe's family, the thought of spending yet another festive season and a birthday without her is simply heart-wrenching.
I try to take each and every day as it comes, because some days go very bad, especially if birthday coming 15 November. That was a bad day for me, but kwamanye amalanga I'm fine. It's Christmas soon, it's gonna be New Year, people bajabulile, and there's nothing to be happy about, to be honest.
As the months went by with no sign or lead about Bongiwe's whereabouts, her mother turns to sangomas and prophets in hope of them leading her to where her daughter could be. Instead of helping her, these individuals brought her more pain. Bongiwe Ngubeni says she probably spent about 200,000 rand on following Sangoma's false claims. After this came to light, the Commission for the Promotion of Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities intervened. They wanted to question the Sangomas involved, but these Sangomas went into hiding and I'm not sure if they were ever found. I will never understand people who use and scam people at their lowest point. Like, if these Sangomas were women, ipinimba, how do you treat another woman like that? A mother who is desperately needing answers to finding her missing child, and all you saw was an opportunity to suck her dry. Just add more misery to her life. Like, those type of people make me angry, okay? They make me angry. The hardest times for her are family gatherings and holidays. The family had so many expectations for her, you know. A mother never imagines losing their child at such a tender age. Bongiwe would be, or rather is, 14 this year. It would have been her first year in high school. She would be in grade 8, and there are just so many milestones that she and her family have missed, and it's honestly heartbreaking. Every year on the 1st of December, the Tanganyo Enrichment Project does a campaign for Bongiwe. They march against human trafficking and Bongiwe's remembrance. The founder of this campaign, Queen Rabotapi, says that her heart breaks every time she has to meet Bongiwe's family because they always tear up when they think about her and remember that she is still missing. Bongiwe's primary school, Harmony Primary School, has been holding a regular human trafficking awareness campaign in the school since her disappearance, according to the school. So a few theories of what could have possibly happened to Bongiwe. The first theory comes from a lady that goes by the name Psychic Medium Diva, who is a medium. She did a reading or had visions about Bongiwe's whereabouts, and she came up with a theory of what could have possibly happened to her on the 1st of December. In her reading, she says that she saw an old man who was missing a few teeth and walking in blue worker's uniform. He walks slowly with a slight limp. He has a small face, pointy chin, and strange, almost squinting eyes. She said that this man lived in the same street as Bongiwe, or not that far from her home. She also mentioned that Bongiwe had seen him many times before, therefore she wasn't scared of him and he wasn't really a stranger. According to this lady, on the day that Bongiwe disappeared, this man was also walking to the local spaza shop. He had promised her money if she could help him carry a few items back to his home, and Bongiwe agreed. Once near his house, he forced her in. She also believes that this man is a sexual predator, and this was not the first time that he did this. Please take note that these are her thoughts and opinions. These are not facts, and they're not backed up by any evidence or anything like that. So take this with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not sure if any of this information was taken to the police or whether this man was looked into, but as far as I know, this man has not been arrested, nor has he been found. The second theory is she was abducted and possibly for human trafficking purposes. The third theory is that Bongiwe could have been raped and murdered and her body is yet to be discovered. The last theory is Bongiwe is still out there and still waiting to be found. It's the least likely, but it is a theory worth holding on to. There is a 100,000 rand reward for anyone who has information on Bongiwe's whereabouts. This money will only be issued if the information leads the police to her or her remains or the arrest of a suspect, of which there is none at this point, 5 years later. Her mother has been in and out of hospital due to physical and health problems. She has not given up hope of finding her daughter.
With each passing day, Mbali finds comfort in both her supportive family and prayer to cope with the unfortunate situation.
No, I don't care. Not malanga right now.
I don't care about the number of days, but I just want a chance to be reunited with my daughter. God gives second chances, and I want my daughter back.
So that's the only thing that I just.
Those close to her say that she just wants closure. Whether Bongiwe is alive or not, she wants her back. She wants to know where her remains are if she's no longer alive. Her family and police officers in charge of her case are pleading with anyone who has any information on her whereabouts to come forward. Her family and police officers in charge of her case are pleading with anyone who has any information on her whereabouts to come forward. Her case has gone cold, but they have recently re-looked and reopened it and are basically starting from scratch. So if you came forward before, please do so again so that they can investigate and look at all possible angles and theories. And I'll also leave any important information like phone numbers that you can call if you have any leads in the description box. Parents are urged to report missing children immediately. There is no waiting time. You don't have to wait 12 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours. The minute you realize that something is wrong, call the police. They have no choice but to act immediately. And that is it for this case. I will see you guys on my next video.